Well, I had to pull an all-nighter because sometimes I have trouble sleeping. Once in the blue moon kind of deal. And I'll explain why I have trouble sleeping. The reason why. But it is what it is. It's whatever. But this is directed towards the self-proclaimed patriots. Do I want you to fail? And have a horrible life? No, I don't. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But do I want you to think before you speak, before you act? Yes, I do. I mean, let's be realistic here. There are those amongst you calling for a civil war. Like I said, be careful what you wish for. It's just that simple. And I gotta tell you, those of you self-proclaimed patriots, you gotta be sure that the other quote-unquote patriots are gonna stick by you when things get messy. But when things get real. Because when it comes down to it, whoever you have in your tribe, you got to trust those people. But be advised, there are FUDs, fake triots. People are going to leave you. Just leave you to it. Just leave you. You'll figure out who's loyal to you. Loyalty is a big thing to me. You'll figure out who's loyal to you. You'll figure out who's going to stay with you. And you'll figure out who is dishonest, who is not loyal to you, who's going to cut and run. Now, as far as the patriots, quote and unquote patriots, saying to me, what have you done? Just to justify their means, their ends, and all that kind of stuff. Well, let me tell you something. In 2006, I joined the fire department. 2007, I became a certified firefighter here in Virginia. My home state of Virginia. Full of history, right? So, was instructed to stand up, put my right hand up, and swear an oath to not only protect people's property, to help and save them, but also I swore an oath to uphold and support the Constitution of the United States of America. Tell me something. Those of you who never served in the military, or you're not a first responder. You never served as a first responder either. Have you bled and sweat for something bigger than yourselves? No? Well, maybe instead of worrying about what you think I haven't done, maybe you should look at the big picture here. Just look at the big picture. Prime example, CRS Firearms, Matt, has just been arrested. That is the feds, the cops, the politicians. That is their resolve. All because of an auto key card, I do believe it is. Because the ATF, well, per the NFA's definition, auto key cards are machine guns when they're not to begin with. An auto key card by itself, no, it's not a machine gun. Whoever came up with that definition that language in the National Firearms Act, it probably needs to be smacked around a bit. Just real talk. And those of you calling for a civil war, are you ready for it mentally, physically? You may have all the knives, you may have all the AR-15s, and speaking of which, you think your AR-15s are enough? Well, guess what? The feds, the cops, the military, they have fully automatic firearms. Do I need to remind you what happened at Waco once again? The FBI used tanks. If the FBI is capable of doing that, imagine what the U.S. military is capable of doing. And now with the militarization of police officers, the police departments, and sheriff's offices, well, that presents a bigger problem right there, doesn't it? It does. So maybe you should look at yourselves in the mirror and say, hey, maybe I'm part of the problem. While, yes, the liberals, they are the problem as well. The Democrats, they're the problem. But really, you go around and you act all surprised that when these FUDs or so-called patriots who serve this country, like Dan Crenshaw as a prime example, he supports red flag laws, including Trump. Trump never served in the military, but Dan Crenshaw, Trump, they support red flag laws. And you all think a veteran should respect the Constitution. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything whatsoever. And here we are, you're placating to your masters, you're begging your masters, writing to your masters to stop violating your rights, tell them to don't pass a bill, don't create a bill. You ask your masters, the law enforcers, to not enforce unconstitutional gun laws. You say, don't infringe on our God-given Second Amendment rights. Don't infringe on our constitutional rights. You actually believe that the Constitution, a piece of paper, a document that is over 200 years old, is going to protect your rights? I mean, you're the same people who talk about being, we should be the people, we the people, to govern over the government. Keep a watchful eye on them. Hold them accountable. Why hasn't that been done? That hasn't been done whatsoever. Not at all. Hasn't been done. And a bunch of people keep on saying, well, we have the right to overthrow a tyrannical government. Well, practice what you preach. But just remember, be careful what you wish for. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Seriously. Y'all can keep on saying I'm just a loudmouth SOB. But you're the loudmouths going on social media posting pictures. Oh, well, this firearm is for a tyrannical government. Blah, 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 blah. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. When a law is unjust, a man is not only right to disobey it, he's also obligated to do so. And looks like the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Well, guess what? The blood of patriots is refreshing the tree of liberty right now. It's the blood of patriots is refreshing the tree of liberty. Even though you never actually had to go through a background check getting these firearm components to build your own firearms. Well, guess what? You pay for it online. Guess where that information traces back to? To you. It's not just 4473 forms that they trace that information. It's not just concealed handgun permits that they trace that information back to you. It's also the information that your bank has on you. Guess who's going to obtain that information? The cops. The alphabet boys, as you call them. You want to get rid of the AtF. You want to repeal the NFA. Well, it's going to take something big that requires discomfort in order to make those two things happen. You know, when I was a kid, don't know how old I was, and back in 1993, of course, I was born in 1987. I didn't know anything what happened. I didn't know what happened in Waco, Texas until 2020. Yes, sir, Bob. See, that's the thing right there. People don't teach you these things. American history. They don't teach you that you have rights in schools. They don't teach you those things. I think that's the biggest problem in this country. And along with that, you also got people don't want to listen to ideas, other ideas, that makes them think harder, that makes them think outside the box. But they want to be on their, in their safe space, and they just want to listen to other people's opinions that fits their narrative, that makes them feel good, right? That makes them feel like they're in their own happy place, safe space, all that. Well, guess what? Get that safe space bull crap out of here. Get those free gun zones bull crap out of here too. I have no patience for it. Simple as that. So like I said, do I want you to fail? No. Do I want you to have horrible lives? No. But I do want you to think before you speak and act. Act. That's exactly what I want you to do. Especially when you say things, when tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. You say those things without conviction, without the intention to fight. For real. That's all.